Good evening, students. Welcome to Class 10 Social Science class. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time or joining my class for the first time, let me inform you, we have started on the topic resources, and today the portion that I am going to discuss with you is based on land resources and soil. So, to begin with, land. Okay, land is a resource. Why? Why is land regarded as a resource? Land is a very important resource. As soon as I say land is a very important resource, the question comes why? How? So, land, first point, land all over the world supports so many activities. What are these activities? It supports vegetation life, it supports human life, it supports wildlife, it supports economic activities. When I say economic activities, economic means anything to do with money and business. So all those works which involves money and business, and also communication and transport system. So land all over the world supports so many works, that is natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, communication, as well as transport and communication. Land is of great significance for all the nations in the world. It is an asset. Asset means it is a wealth, and so we have to use it with care and concern. Now, another reason why we have to take care of land is also because land is finite. Land is fixed in nature. We cannot increase the size of land. Whatever is the size of our land, it remains the same, and that is also the reason that we have to be concerned and careful about the use of land. Now, India has a total land of 3.28 million square kilometer. These, we take the whole land area of the world as 100%, and out of that 100%, the share of land that India has is 3.28 million square kilometer. Now, land always has provided us with our basic needs such as food, clothing and shelter. But lack of proper measures to conserve land has brought about many and serious problems of land degradation. So, now what is land degradation? The question automatically comes, what is land degradation? So, land degradation means the process through which land becomes unfit for cultivation. Human beings, because of their greed, are pursuing such activities because of which the quality of land is getting decreased. So when the quality of the land gets decreased and we are not able to cultivate or use it, it is known as land degradation. So land degradation is the process through which land becomes unfit for cultivation. Now, what might be or what are the causes of land degradation? There are many causes which we will see one by one. First one is overgrazing. Overgrazing is one of the main cause of land degradation. When animals are overgrazed on pasture lands for a long period of time, the vegetation cover tends to get decreased and diminished over a period of time. So the land becomes barren and it is left to be open to the forces of nature. So the forces of nature like strong wind and running water blows away or washes away the topsoil and land gets degraded. This we call it as soil and water erosion. When strong running water washes away the topsoil, we call it as water erosion, and when strong wind blows away the top layer of the soil, we call it as wind erosion. So land gets degraded because of wind and water erosion. That is the first cause. Overgrazing by animals on natural pastures decreases vegetation and leads to wind and water erosion. The second cause of land degradation is mining. Large areas of land are mined Mining means here we have to understand large areas of land are dug for extracting minerals from the soil, and once the minerals are extracted, the land is left unattended. So abundant mining sites, which we call it as the abundant excavated land that is left after the excavation has been done or the minerals have been extracted, we call it as abundant mining sites. These abundant mining sites have created deep scars and they have nothing left to be utilized, and this also becomes a cause of land degradation. Now, this type of land degradation is very common in the state of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Madhya Pradesh. Now, in the process of mining, another thing is that in order to mine a particular area, do mining in a particular area, forest is cut off, trees are cut down, the vegetation is cleared. That means deforestation, and this deforestation also leads to land degradation. The clearing of the land for mining leads to deforestation, and deforestation leads to land degradation. Another reason for land degradation is water logging. Water logging means collection of water over an area, excess collection of water over an area. Now, water logging is also one of the main causes of land degradation, and the main reason behind it is, or the main reason for water logging is over irrigation. When a field or a plot of land is over irrigated, it increases the salt and alkaline level in the soil, and the land becomes unfit for cultivation. So, water logging increases the salinity and alkalinity of the soil, and it degrades the land. This is very common in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Punjab. The next cause of land degradation is mineral processing. Mineral processing can also be taken as industrialization. Okay. Industrialization or mineral processing is also a major cause of land degradation. Now, for example, when cement is made or when cement is to be produced, okay, large amount or large quantities of limestone is grinded, and in the process of grinding large quantities of limestone, it generates huge quantity of dust, and these dust in the atmosphere, huge quantities of dust comes out, and these are in the atmosphere. So after some time, these fine dust, very fine dust particles settles on the land, and it stops the water from infiltrating or going inside the land. Land has a very small, deep, as we have pores on our skin, some holes on our skin, just like that, the skin has some holes or absorbing quality. Now, that water absorbing quality of the soil is blocked because of these fine dust particles which covers the land as a process of settling of the dust particles from cement production, and these also leads to land degradation. So is the case in the process of ceramic industry. Ceramic industry uses a lot or large quantity of calcite and soapstone. In the process of grinding, huge quantities of very fine grained dust comes out and settles on the land and prevents the land from absorbing water, and over a period of time the land gets degraded. Now, the fifth reason for land degradation is effluent from industries. Effluent means the hot wastewater that comes up, the waste that comes up from the industries, many a times from the industries which uses lots of chemicals in its process of production. All those are allowed to drain into the land and water, and these effluents or this disposal of water from the industries also, that is dirty water, also becomes a cause of land degradation. And finally, the last cause of land degradation is agricultural practice. There are certain agricultural practices such as shifting cultivation. It also leads to land degradation over a period of time, because as we know, in shifting cultivation, you cultivate, shifting cultivation is also known as burn and slash cultivation or zoom cultivation, where a piece of land is cultivated for a period of time, then it is left fallow without cultivating, and when the soil loses its fertility, it is left fallow, then after few years again it is cultivated. So this agricultural practice, particularly shifting cultivation, also leads to land degradation. Besides that, absence of soil conservation measures, we fail to take land conservation measures. There is also too much use of fertilizers and also irrigation, too much irrigation. All these also contributes to land degradation. And so, land degradation is a serious problem and needs to be tackled urgently. Let me tell you, approximately in India, there are 130 million hectares of degraded land. Out of these, 28% is forest degraded land and 56% is water eroded land, and the remaining land is affected by salt and alkaline deposit. These you can refer to, you can turn to your textbook, page number 62, fact file. If you can turn to page number 62, fact file, I will read it out again. There are approximately 130 million hectares of degraded land in India. 28% falls in the category of forest degraded area, 56% is water eroded area, remaining is affected by saline and alkaline deposits. So these are the causes of land degradation. So to sum up this topic, before I switch on to the next topic, land degradation, what we have learned, land is a very important resource. Land all over the world supports vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, as well as communication and transport system. Land is of great significance for all the nations in the world. It is an important wealth or asset, so it has to be used with care and concern because it is limited in nature. Therefore, careful planning of land use becomes very important. Land has always provided us with our basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter, but lack of proper measures to conserve it has brought about serious environmental degradation or land degradation. And the causes of land degradation that I have just explained. Let me repeat. First one is overgrazing, overgrazing of animals over a piece of land or over a plot of land. Pasture land over a period of time leads to decrease in vegetation cover, and over time the forces of nature like strong wind and water washes away or blows away the topsoil, and it leads to land degradation. Second one is mining. Mining sites are abandoned after excavation works are done, and these are left unattended. As a result, deforestation takes place, and this deforestation also becomes a cause of land degradation. Third is waterlogging. Over irrigation of land increases the alkaline and salt content in the soil, making the soil unfit for cultivation, which is very common in the state of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Punjab. The next one is industrialization or mineral processing, then effluent from industries, and also agricultural practice. The next topic will be on soil. Now let's move on to soil. Soil a resource. How is soil a resource? And what are the different types of soil we find in India? What is soil? The uppermost layer of the earth's crust in which plants grow is called soil. I repeat, the uppermost layer of the earth's crust in which plants grow is called soil. Simply put, the top layer of the soil in which vegetation grows or trees, plants grows is called soil. So, soil is the topmost layer of the earth's crust. What are the different types of soil we find in India? There are 6 different types of soil in India. We find 6 different types of soil in India, and those are alluvial soil, black soil, red and yellow soil, laterite soil, arid soils, and forest soils. So, the first one, alluvial soil. Alluvial soil forms the bulk of soil in India. This is the most abundantly available soil in India. About 46% of land in India is alluvial soil. They are found mainly in the river valleys of northern plains and also are very fertile. Alluvial soil is very fertile. They are also found in the strips in Rajasthan and Gujarat, and also in the eastern coastal plain of especially the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri rivers. Alluvial soil contains adequate or right amount of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which is best for the cultivation of sugarcane, paddy and wheat, and also cereal and pulse crop. Because alluvial soil is very fertile, the areas where alluvial soil are found is densely populated, and alluvial soil is also very intensely cultivated. Alluvial soil are of 2 types, khadar and bangar. Khadar is the new alluvial soil and bangar is the old alluvial soil. Both the type of soil, both are alluvial soil, both the type are fertile, but when we compare between the two, khadar is more fertile than bangar alluvial soil. So, to sum up, alluvial soil forms the bulk of soil in India. It is the most abundantly available soil in India. About 46% of soil in India is alluvial soil. This soil is found in the river valleys of northern plains and is very fertile. It is also found in strips in Gujarat and Rajasthan and eastern coastal regions, especially in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. It contains adequate amount or adequate proportion of potash, phosphoric acid and lime, which is best for cultivation of sugarcane, wheat, paddy, cereals and pulse crops. Because alluvial soil is very fertile, the areas of alluvial soil are intensively used for growing crops and are therefore densely populated. Population is more in those areas where alluvial soil is found. There are 2 types of alluvial soil, old and new. Old alluvial soil is called bangar and new alluvial soil is called khadar. Both are fertile, but when we compare, khadar or the new alluvial soil is more fertile than the old alluvial soil. The second type of soil that we find in India is black soil. Black soil are also known as regur or black cotton soil. This soil is ideal or best for growing cotton, and because of that it is called black cotton soil. Black cotton soil, they have extremely good moisture retention capacity but become sticky when wet because they have almost 60% of clay content. Alluvial black soil, second type of soil is black soil. Black soil is also known as or are also known as regur or black cotton soil. This soil is ideal for cotton cultivation or growing cotton, and because of that it gets its name black cotton soil. Now, black soil it has the quality of holding moisture or water. It has very good water or moisture holding retention capacity, but when it gets wet it becomes sticky because 60% of its content is clay. The third type of soil is red and yellow soil. Now, red and yellow soil, the color of the soil red and yellow. Presence of air and water in the soil is very nicely illustrated or is best illustrated by this type of soil. Air and water reacts with the iron content in the soil and makes the color of the soil red. This soil, red and yellow soil, develops as a result of weathering or breaking down of the crystalline igneous rocks, especially in the lower rainfall areas of the eastern and the southern part of the Deccan Plateau. This type of soils we find in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the Middle Ganga Plain, and also Western Ghats. The next type of soil is laterite soil. Laterite comes from the Latin word later. In Latin, later means brick. So, the term laterite soil gets its name from the word later, Latin word later, which means brick. This soil, laterite soil, has very little clay but much of gravel and sandstone. It lacks fertility. The next type of soil that we find in India is arid soil. Arid soil is sandy in texture and its color varies from brown to red. They are also saline in nature, and in some certain areas the salt content is very high. This kind of soil we usually find in dry climatic areas which has very high temperature. Arid type of soil is low in humus, and this kind of soil, in order to cultivate, needs deep irrigation and plowing, and this type of technique has been developed and is being successfully used in western Rajasthan. The last type of soil found in India is the forest soil. Forest soil is found in the areas of rainforest in the hilly and mountainous areas. Its texture varies. In the upper part of the mountains or the mountainous areas, it is coarse grained, but in the lower level we find that it becomes loamy soil. It becomes soft and loamy. That means that forest soil is not the same in all areas. The texture varies from area to area. So, those are the 6 different types of soil that we find in India. Let me just once again repeat. Soil, what is soil? The uppermost layer of the earth's crust in which plants grows is called soil, or the topmost layer of the earth in which vegetation grows is known as soil. There are 6 different types of soil in India. The first one is alluvial soil, the most fertile soil and also the most abundantly available soil in India. About 46% of the soil in India is alluvial soil. It is very fertile. So, the areas where alluvial soil are found, it is densely populated. People like to settle in those places where soil is fertile because agriculture can be done in those areas. Alluvial soil are of 2 types, that is Khadar and Bangar. Khadar is the new alluvial soil and Bangar is the old alluvial soil. Khadar is more fertile than Bangar. The second type of soil is black soil. Black soil is very good for growing cotton. It is the best soil for growing cotton, so it is also called as the black cotton soil. It has very good water retention capacity. It can hold water and moisture, but when it becomes wet, it also becomes sticky. The third type of soil that we did was red and yellow soil. The presence of air and water in the soil is best illustrated by the color of the red soil. Air and water helps in the rusting of iron content in the soil and makes it red in color. The red and yellow soil develops as a result of weathering of crystalline igneous rocks in the areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau. This type of soil we find in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of Middle Ganga and also Western Ghat. The next type of soil is laterite soil. Laterite comes from the Latin word later, which means brick. It has very less clay and much of gravel and red sandstone. Next one is the arid soil, which is sandy in texture and also color ranges from red to brown. In some areas, the salt content in the soil is very high, and this type of soil occurs in dry and high temperature areas, in dry climatic and high temperature areas, and this soil is low in humus. Such soils needs extra effort, or such soil have to be irrigated and plowed deep in order to do cultivation, and so a special technique or technology is required which has been developed. This kind of improved technique of cultivation has been developed and has been successfully used in western Rajasthan. Then the last type of soil found in India is the forest soil, which is found in the areas of rainforest in the hilly and mountainous areas. Those are the 6 types of soil. Now I want you to turn to page number 62. I've told you before also, on page number 62 there is a fact file. I want you to mark that, and also on page number 64, turn to page number 64, you will see major soil type, that is major soil type map of India, where you will see the different types of soil areas that are marked. You please mark this on your book and then try to know the regions where the different types of soil are found. For example, mountain soil, alluvial soil, red soil and yellow soil, black soil. So you have to be clear in class 10, you have to be clear with which areas, which type of soil is found, you have to be clear. So this page number 64, you have to remember this, and also turn to page number 69, drainage map of India showing lakes and river basins. Here, these also you please mark, and I would like you to at least remember some of the things that comes in your lesson. Like, if you have your textbooks with you, you can see there Brahmaputra basin on the right, extreme right, northeastern side. Narmada basin, Godavari, Mahanadi. I was talking about the type of soil found in this area, the Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri basin. This is the type of soil found in this region, so you can see this. And then on page number 64 also, the different types of soil, mountain soil on top you can see, and then you can mark for understanding easily. You can write those areas, you can find out with the information provided in the page. You can mark on your map and go through it, because for map reference these are the ones that comes for insertion in map work. Now the next topic that I would like to move on is on Okay, the next topic that I would like to move on is soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Removal of top layer of the soil by wind or water or by forces of nature is called soil erosion. Now, there are two types of soil erosion. This question came this year also in metric. I repeat, what is soil erosion? Removal of topsoil by running water and wind or by forces of nature is known as soil erosion. What are the two types of soil erosion? First one is sheet erosion and the second one is gully erosion. Okay, so the first one, sometimes during heavy rain, when there is heavy rain, the volume of running water becomes very high, and it washes away the topsoil, which is not protected by sufficient plant cover. If the land is not covered by trees or there is no trees on a particular land, then during heavy rain the top layer of the soil is washed away. This type of erosion, soil erosion or washing away of the topsoil is known as sheet erosion. Now, gully erosions, when rain falls over uneven areas, okay, uneven means not flat or not even uniform areas, okay. What happens? The water tends to scoop out some pieces of land, or it takes out some portions of the land, and grooves and gullies grows, and these over time these gullies or these grooves tends to become bigger in size. This is known as gully erosion. So today in our class we have seen about land. Why is land regarded as a resource? What is land degradation? And what are the various causes of land degradation? After that we have discussed about soil. What is soil? What are the different types of soil found in India, or the 6 types of soil that are found in India, and also soil erosion. What is soil erosion and what are the 2 types of soil erosion? With that, we wind up today's class. Hope to see you in the next class again.